What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Best Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Russler. Today, joining me is the return of Chris Oliver. He was on just a few weeks ago when I had a bit of a wild episode with a couple other guys. So I invited him back just to get his own solo episode in. We had a great time. We talked about anime, sobriety, a mission trip to Haiti, all kinds of stuff. If you're not into anime, I would just skip ahead like the first 6 minutes. But we had a really good time. Check him out on Instagram at Tofology, and he runs an open mic at Stan's Bar on Tuesday nights in St. Louis. So go down and check that out. It's a good time. It's a fun episode. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. You could come back and do a solo episode because the last time you were in here, it was just a couple weeks ago, but it kind of got hijacked a little bit. No. Things kind of got a little out of control, but no, I'm glad we could do this.
Yeah, for sure. That was fun.
It was fun. It was fun. Going back and listening to it, I was like, "Ooh, okay,
yeah,
all right." We should have cut that out. Like we should have cut it about 30 minutes shorter than it actually went.
Yeah, I still thought it was cool. Nathan's dude. I was just there talking to him for like 2 hours. Like I said, just every time it's just something crazier I learn about his life.
Yeah. Every time, like I was saying last time, every time I talk to Nathan, I get a little piece of the puzzle, that comes across and you're like, okay, all right. And you know what I've learned? I think that prison has a really good library.
Yeah.
I think that, because he's well read, and I'm like, I wonder where he got that. Because I don't think it's the city library, the public library. It might have been a little bit of a... real quick, if you want to plug your social media and if you got any shows coming up.
All right, yeah. At Tofology on Instagram, Chris Oliver on Facebook.
Is that how you... Tofology?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I've always been saying Topology. That's always what I go with.
No. It's because I'm a topher. I don't like it, but I am. That's been my nickname since I was a kid.
Topher.
Yeah, so it's Christopher, Chris Topher.
All
my friends call me Toph, so yeah.
Okay, all right.
I fought it for a long time, but even when I started stand-up, it's like, it happened in grade school. High school was a fresh start, but then someone brought it to my high school. Then after that, it was fresh start, same thing. And then comedy, it was the same thing until Bukovich found out about it. And then he started calling me Toph. And then it's just like, whatever, I just own it now.
Butkovich.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. No, I love you. Zach, I love you. Yeah. But, yeah, he would be the kind of guy to be like, Topher.
Yeah.
You're like, damn it.
All right, but February 24th, I'm doing the Anti-Bar in Waterloo. And then...
That's so much fun. That show is so much fun. If you're anywhere near St. Louis and you're looking for a great show to go to, it's not that far away. It's like 20-minute drive from downtown, but it is so much fun.
Yeah.
You're gonna crush.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. He says we're playing games. I think we're doing like Would You Rather with the audience or something like that. He wants it to be very active with the audience, so that should be kind of cool.
That's cool.
And then other than that, Stan's open mic at Stan's Bar on Macklin every Tuesday. Sign-ups at 9, show at 9:30. Come try out material, come watch material. It's a great time. Comedy Chaos at Stan's. Other than that, that's it for now.
Yeah. I went there. I was there last night at Stan's, and it was fun.
Oh, yeah.
I liked it. It's a good mic to test out some new bits, new material, and see if anything has legs. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But last time you were here, you said that, okay, what is a weeb?
Okay, so a weeb is just like a big anime fan, like an anime nerd.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know the backstory about it, but
guilty.
Yeah, same, dude. We were talking about this a lot tonight at the Helium because it's just like more and more people are starting to talk about why they or that they do love it or whatever. And I still have my friends that still make fun of me and talk shit the entire time, but I don't know. I think it's fucking awesome.
I feel like anime anime is the new professional wrestling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for years, people like were like, "Oh, it's fake, it's gay, it's whatever." You know, like they'd make fun of you if you were into professional wrestling. And now more and more people are like, "Okay, it's kind of cool. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of cool." And I feel like that is anime. In a couple years, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, I love this," and then it's like, "Yeah, you poser."
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Name your top 5 anime moment. You know. How did you get into it?
Well, my roommate told me to watch a show called Attack on Titan like 2 or 3 years ago. And I was just like, no, you're gay. I don't care. I don't want to watch this. And then I just watched it one day when I was just like everything else that I've ever watched. Like, I did the same thing with Harry Potter when I was younger. Never watched them. And then one day I got sick and I just binged it. And I was like, oh, I actually kind of like this. And then with anime, it didn't stop. Like, I still watch it all the time. Probably going to watch it after this. To go to sleep
I am too. Every night I go to sleep to My Hero Academia.
It's a great show.
I got into it because when I was a kid, I used to spend the night at my grandmother's house like every weekend, and like most grandmothers, she'd fall asleep at like 8:30 or whatever, and then on Cartoon Network they would turn on Toonami, and then it would become like just anime for the next like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And so I grew up watching. I would watch Dragon Ball Z after school, but then on the weekends, you know, you'd watch those like a slightly more adult anime, and it would be like, I'm gonna screw up these names, but
Inuyasha.
Inuyasha, yeah. I was Inuyasha. That's all, but I'm bad at reading.
That might be it too. I don't know.
Yeah. And what was it? Yu
Yu Hakusho.
Yu Hakusho. Yeah. See, I'm glad you're here to pronounce
yeah.
it. 'Cause I like it. You're picking up what I'm putting down. Yeah. So those were big. Those were big for me. I never got into like Bleach. That seems to be a big one. I always wanted to, and then I'd start it and get bored.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, I was a huge. I still am a huge anime nerd. I think my wife makes fun of me for it.
Oh yeah, dude.
Because I fall asleep to it, and she'll wake up in the middle of the night and be like, "What is on TV?" And I'm like, "Just shut up! All right? Just stop it! Stop making fun of me."
Yeah, right. It is funny too, because like everyone at my work loves it too. So like we're always weaving out talking about it. But some of my other friends, they still make fun of me all the time. If they watch this, they will make fun of me for this. But I love it, dude. I watch so much of it.
Which one's your favorite? Would you say?
I love My Hero. I love Attack on Titan, but for like different reasons. Jujutsu Kaisen's really cool. You should watch that if you haven't yet. Old school. I mean, Dragon Ball Z is what we all watched when we were younger. I think you're around my age, aren't you?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I'm 33.
Yeah, I'm 31. So I like after school, that was always a thing. Like we would always watch Dragon Ball Z and stuff.
Well, if you didn't watch Dragon Ball Z, like you were a loser. You know what I mean? And gosh, what else did they have on Toonami? They had some great shows on there. Have you ever watched like Full Metal Alchemist? Yeah, I watched both of those because there's like Full Metal Alchemist and then there's like another one,
Brotherhood.
Yeah, Brotherhood, and it's like some of the episodes are exactly the same, but some of them are different. So, but I've made my way through. Oh yeah, it's even on the screen right there.
Yeah,
yeah. There's the 2 different ones like right here. Did you ever watch Naruto?
No, I watched a little bit of it when I was like way younger, but I don't really remember a lot of it.
I tried to get into it, but first of all, there's like 2,000 episodes.
Yeah.
So it was kind of hard to get into. You know, that's a little daunting. It's the same with One Piece.
I'm watching One Piece now, and it is a commitment.
Yeah. It seems like a task.
Sorry to cut you off. It does get amazing, but it like I didn't really start liking it hardcore until like maybe 150 episodes in or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oof.
Which I mean, a lot of it was background noise. For a certain point of it, it's just background noise until it finally starts getting good.
That's kind of how I feel about. Well, My Hero has kind of become background noise now because I've seen every episode.
Yeah.
And it's what I fall asleep to. So every night when I'm about to go to sleep, I just back it up to the last thing I remember, and then I watch, like half an episode, and then I'll fall asleep, and I wake up the next morning, and 20 episodes have gone by or whatever.
Mhm.
But who? Did you watch Death Note?
No.
Death Note was fun.
I heard too.
I liked Death Note a lot. I watched they made a live action Netflix
Mhm.
movie out of it, and it wasn't it didn't do it justice. I didn't think. But I thought that was a cool premise.
Uh-huh.
Like you could just write somebody's name in a book and they die.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
like-
pretty cool.
All right. I would definitely have abused that power.
I was about to say, dude, what comedian's name are you writing in that book?
That's yeah. The next 3 minutes is just like, there's a couple. There's a couple. We go Cat Williams on it.
Oh,
It
yeah,
just
for
starts
sure.
tearing people apart. No. Yeah. That would be a hard one. That would definitely be a hard. I don't know if I could. I would definitely abuse that power.
Oh yeah.
With My Hero though, what quirk would you choose? Which one's the best? Do you think?
Oh man.
I know that's a hard question because
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll exclude Deku and all of his.
yeah, that's kind of all right. Oh, hot take. All right, on
Okay.
Deku. You know how sometimes he gets into this in his own head and he starts like mumble talking and he
Uh-huh.
like super processes things. My argument is that is his original quirk. Being able to break down problems and like solve things and hyper focus on a situation has helped him be able to control All for One.
Yeah.
And all the other powers that come with it. And that's why he surpassed All Might and was able to tap into other like abilities that All Might couldn't even try.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
No, it definitely makes sense because I mean, when he didn't have a power, that's kind of all he could do.
Yeah, he would
was
just like,
overanalyze everything.
Yeah. It was super funny. I do love the first couple episodes when that's all he wants is to be a hero, and the doctor's just like, nah.
Yeah, no, dude, sorry.
Nah, he's just like, he's just crying for like 3 episodes.
Dude, that show's sad.
It is sad, dude.
Sometimes it's like Courage the Cowardly Dog. That show was sad too. I don't know if you watch that when you're
I
younger.
loved Courage the Cowardly Dog.
It's a sad show,
loved
dude.
Courage. Oh man.
Yeah, it's one of those it's one of those things where you watch it when you're younger and you're just like you don't think about it. Then when you're older, you're like, holy fuck, that was so sad.
Poor dog, man.
Yeah. I don't know. So most of those shows, I always loved I do like the main character usually, but like Dragon Ball Z, I love Vegeta. I love Bakugo.
Yeah.
I think his quirk's actually pretty dope too.
Bakugo is
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, I'd have to go with Todoroki.
Yeah.
The hot and cold at the same time, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bakugo, I like the anti-hero a little bit. You know, there's always been that part of me that's like, oh, I like that guy that has, shut the hell up.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
idiot. Like that.
I think it's just more relatable for like who we are as people. I feel like.
Yeah, because we're bad people.
Yeah.
We're anti-heroes. No, yeah, I don't know. Some of the, I will say that when I first found out about Best Jeanist,
Uh-huh.
all right, and if you don't know who this is good. If people aren't into this show, they're about to like tune out real quick.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't care. Someone out there is enjoying this. But I was like, when I first found out about it, it's like, what the hell is his power? He wears a turtleneck made out of denim and stuff. And I'm like, this guy's stupid, you
Yeah.
know? And then I find out he can control any like fibers or threads. So he just ties people up with their own clothes.
Yeah.
Like, all right, that's pretty dope.
He's got the corniest
Yeah.
one-liners of that entire show.
Yeah.
Dude.
He isn't. I don't know. I can't think of his name. I can't remember his name, but he's got the engines in his legs.
Oh,
He drives me nuts. The class.
Ingenium?
Yeah, he's
Or
the class.
the class rep, yeah.
Class rep, class president.
Yeah.
Woof, dude.
Yeah, dude.
He's cringeworthy, like
Yeah.
the whole show. But I don't know. All right, well, enough about that.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day. Would you rather? Okay, which one would be best to have bad BO or bad halitosis,
What's halitosis?
like bad breath.
Oh.
Would you okay? Would you rather have okay? If you had to choose one,
Fuck, dude.
yeah, I know. It's,
Like both just untreatable, just forever?
I wouldn't say untreatable, but it would be a consistent problem. Like it would be something that you would like always have to plan for contingency wise.
Damn, dude. I guess... Dude, I guess I'd take the BO. I don't know. That's like rough because I feel like that's more Dude, if my mouth always smelled terrible, I feel like that would bother me. I feel like I'd be able to taste it almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but either way, this is a lose-lose, I feel like.
It is a bit of a lose-lose, but I feel like I would go with bad breath because I feel like you could always have a piece of gum.
Mm-hmm.
You could always like sip coffee or something, you know, and how close are people really going to get to your mouth, you know, unless they're like super close to you, you know,
That's
like,
fair.
I mean, both like relationship wise and physically close to you, it probably wouldn't be that noticeable because we both know some people with some pretty bad breath.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't notice it all the time, but every now and then they get close and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Like, so, but I feel like BO, I feel like that would be harder to control. You know, you'd constantly be spraying or
I
deodorant
feel
or
like a
changing
hoodie
clothes.
could go a long way with that, though.
Yeah, a hoodie or a nice jacket, but in the summertime,
Yeah, you're kind of fucked.
I mean, you're just what can you do?
Yeah,
What can you do?
that's rough. I remember one time I was pretty mad because I got off work and I went straight to the gym. And like my work's like I basically lift heavy shit all day at work, and so I already had some BO, and I went to the gym, and I was with my buddy and his friend, and like we were all talking. I walked away to finish my set, and then my friend came over and was like, "Yo, my buddy was talking all shit because he said you smelled like BO." And I was just like, dude, fuck him. But also, it's like, dude, fuck you for real. I'm at the gym. Who cares
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
smell
exactly.
like, dude? Yeah.
Exactly.
But
that.
but it
drives me
still hurt. But when I heard it, I was like, it's not that bad.
when I was on my first deployment, we were on a ship, and you have no room.
Yeah.
whatsoever. I mean, you are stacked on top, literally stacked on top of each other. Like the bunks that we would sleep in, they were called. I can't remember. They were called like casualty coffins or something because you would slide into it and then you could lift them up. So if you were injured, it was designed so like a surgeon could get in there and operate on you while you're like just in your bed or whatever. And anyway, you would go and you'd work out because that's one of the only things you could do while you're on the ship, and you'd get sweaty, but you don't have a place to like store your dirty clothes except for in this like tiny little compartment. And it would sweat, and you would sweat, it would get wet. You can't just store it in a dark, damp corner. It's going to get moldy. So you have to wait for it to dry. So I would have to climb up to like the top of the racks and then like hang my wet clothes like over this bar, and people would get mad and they're like, dude, your shirt's up there and it stinks. And I'm like, well, it either stinks until it dries or I throw it in my rack and then it's going to smell 10 times worse. So it's like, what do you want me to do? You know? And it's like, you don't have an option to not exercise, especially in the military. So it's like, all right, man, what do you want from me? And they're like, I don't know, man, but figure it out. And it's like, there's no solution. There's no winning here. You know, there's no solutions. So that's why I got to go with bad breath.
Yeah, I guess it is more like, or it's easier to hide, I guess.
Because you could always, you just have like a little bottle of like Listerine on you and just swish real quick. And then it gives you, I mean, even if it's like 30 seconds of relief, that's long enough to talk to someone and have a conversation. You know what I mean? Like, so. That's.
See, that's something, you might realize this now that, well, depending on, are you trying to be sober all of February?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So you're probably going to notice this a lot more now that you're not drinking or getting high. That, like all my buddies, they all still get fucked up all the time. And I don't think they realize how even close they get to you. But they will be in your face, and you will start smelling like the cigarettes, the booze, and the shit. And it's just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
please back up.
Yeah, it's one thing. It's definitely one thing that I have noticed is that was what helped me. So like last night, I was like, man, I was kind of like itching. Like I don't know if I'm gonna last all of February. You know, like I don't know if I'm gonna last a whole month. And then being around drunk people, I was like, oh, yeah, I don't want any part of this.
Yeah,
you know what I
dude.
mean? Like. There were people that like they talk super close to you and they like hit you while they're talking and stuff, and you're like, "All right, man, you don't realize how annoying you're being right now."
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and that's one thing, and also, I feel like people that drink a lot and smoke a lot, they don't pay attention to like what's going on in their mouth so much, and. I definitely have noticed. I've started using this like mouth tape when I sleep because I snore, and it drives my wife insane. So when I tape up my mouth and it stops me from snoring and it helps me sleep better. But when I wake up in the morning and I take it off, I can smell my own breath, and I'm like, oh my gosh! And it has helped me take so much better care of my teeth because the first thing I do is just like power clean all of my teeth because I'm like, something in me is dying and I
Yeah.
need to get rid of it, you know?
That's-
It's just that dry, like, gross smell. Like, ugh.
That's how I felt about when I used to smoke a lot of cigarettes, and like if I didn't brush my teeth in the morning, it felt like there's like a layer of just something on my teeth every day, and I hated that.
And your teeth just feel grimy,
Yeah.
like gritty and stuff, and you're like, what have I been doing? Ugh.
Wait, so you you tape?
Yeah. It's called hostage tape. They're not a sponsor, but shout out anyway.
Yeah.
And it's just this little black piece of tape. It's kind of like oval shaped, and it's designed to work for people with facial hair anyway. And so when you peel it off in the morning, it doesn't like rip your hairs out or anything. And you just put it on and do like that, and it keeps your mouth shut, and it forces you to breathe through your nose. And it's a lot cheaper than a CPAP machine.
Yeah, that's fair.
And also, I heard that people, like, once you use a CPAP, you can't not use a CPAP. Like, you train your brain to, like, oh, something's breathing for me when I sleep. And then you try to, like, sleep without it, and people have, like, a really hard time. And I'm like, well, I don't want a machine to breathe for me.
That seems kind of crazy anyway.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people are just like, I don't know. I was going to say, maybe I shouldn't say that. Whatever. Hot take. I feel like if you get a CPAP machine, you've kind of just given up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you didn't always snore. You could probably fix this. Like, if you have a deviated septum or, like, medical problems, all right, I'll give you that. But, like, some people are like, I'm just fat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, dude, I'm trying to not just throw in the towel and be like, well, whatever happens, happens. I don't know. Now I instantly regret that because I think of like 6 people I know that have CPAP machines, and they're like good people. And I'm like, now I just feel like a
Well,
jerk.
good people can be fat.
Yeah, dude, there's so many clips that come out from this podcast where I say something for like in the heat of the moment just to make like a fun conversation, and then it gets clipped and put out on the internet, and then I'm like, I don't even really believe what I'm saying right here. I just said it to be fun, you know, like I just had a clip that came out today where I talked about how I don't really like the show Seinfeld, and there were so many people in the comments that just tore me to pieces. And they're like, well, what about this? And what about this? And what about... And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, that was a good episode. All right, yeah, that's a good moment. Yeah, and now I'm just like, oh, damn, I guess I do kind of like Seinfeld. Shit, you know?
See, I was never really a big fan of that show, to be honest. I saw that and I was like, finally, someone else.
Yeah,
but
it's not... The whole thing about it is it kind of goes back to what you were saying about One Piece, how there was like 150 episodes that you had to get past until you got into it. The first, like, 2 seasons of Seinfeld aren't that great.
Yeah.
Like, they were still trying to figure out what they were doing. And my number one pet peeve is when someone recommends a show to me and they're like, you just have to get through the first 2 seasons and then it's real. And it's like, are you just justifying that you wasted your time on something bad and now you want me to do the exact same thing? Like, people have said the same thing about The Office. They're like, oh, it's so great. You just have to get past like the first like season and a half. And it's like, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to waste my time watching something that isn't good from the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, I give up on shows if they go downhill.
Same.
Like, I quit Breaking Bad because I was like, I'm done with this.
I was literally going to bring that up because I still haven't seen past the like 6th or 7th episode. I never got into it. I thought it was kind of boring. I just never watched it.
Yeah, I watched it. So I watched the first, I don't know how many seasons there are, but I watched like the first 2 or 3. And then after that, I was just like, it's not holding my attention. And I just gave up. And people were like, oh, you didn't finish it? You didn't finish it? And I'm like, no, I don't want to waste my time on something that isn't good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like why would I? Same with Game of Thrones. Like, I gave up on Game of Thrones after a couple seasons. I don't know. And then I heard, and then everybody was like, they waited 2 years for the last season to come out, and then everybody was like, it's terrible. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad I didn't waste my time on it.
So I'm not a huge nerd on. I watched that show, the Game of Thrones, but I'm not like a huge nerd. My roommates have the books, but they said after like season 4 is where they start trailing off the books, and then it's all like Hollywood or whatever. But I did watch the end of it, and I was like, this is fucking stupid. Like, this wasn't that cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
But see, that's why I'm a weeb now, dude. Because like Attack on Titan just ended, and I love that show from start to finish.
That is,
you know what I mean?
The Attack on Titan is a like, that's like jumping in the deep end as far as anime goes, because it's super violent.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Like, there were a couple episodes I watched where you get real attached to even these side characters. And then it's like, oh man, like they die in the most gruesome ways possible. And you're just like, oh man.
It's pretty fucked.
Yeah. And it's crazy because it looks silly because like some of the Titans, they're naked. And they're also like really stupid. Yeah. And they like run like that. And you're like, that's kind of funny. And then they start chewing on your favorite characters. And you're like, oh my gosh. Like that. And it's so scary, dude.
It's pretty fucked.
They have the like ropes that they swing from with the swords and stuff, and you're like, that's so cool. And then they run out of blades or they run out of gas, and they're just stuck hanging there, and they just get devoured. And you're like, oh my god, dude! And then there's that one Titan that can throw things.
Yeah, the Beast Titan.
The Beast Titan. He looks like Bigfoot, and there's that episode where like the cavalry's charging him and he just wipes them all out with like just throwing pebbles, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like that. It's so graphic too. Yeah. But it's a great show. It gets you hooked right away. And,
dude, first episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's crazy. Like my roommate, he didn't even end up, I don't even know if he's finished it yet. He might have finished it by now, but he like stopped watching it after, and I was like, you need to finish this. You started this. You're the reason I'm doing this. You need to finish this. It's so good. And he's just one of those people.
You started this. Yeah. Dude, the only thing about that I confused me was the map. Like, I need to see what the map looks like, because it's all about them breaking through walls. And it's like the whole world lives in this big like circular city, and there's like walls on the outside, and then there's like more walls the closer in you get, and it's like, I don't know, like in my mind it wasn't making sense. Like, how many walls do they have to break through? And
so it's like 3 circles.
Yeah. It's like a target, right? Yeah. And it's, I don't know, but I don't know. I loved Attack on Titan.
Oh yeah. I hope when you clip this that you you just clip the scene of you describing how Titans run. That was the funniest face I've ever seen you make.
They're just like, that's what they do. I mean, some of them are like serious and they like sprint and they're like hardcore, you know, and then other ones they run with like their head first, like that. And then for giant, like literal giants that. They seem to pop out of nowhere sometimes, and it's like people will be having a conversation and then all of a sudden it's like there's one just right behind them and you know, you're like, oh gross. So you think I should do that? Yeah, dude. I'm gonna start running like that from now on, with my arms behind me and just nipples first.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. Back to so this is how my mind works. It's literally all over the place now. We were talking about smells. If you were gonna design a cologne, all right, so you get, say when they make a cologne, they usually take like 2 different scents or whatever. What would be the best scent combination for your cologne? Like if you were gonna make one, 2 scents that you would pick.
Damn.
And it doesn't have to be like what you think you smell like, but it's like, okay, this is what I would want to smell like.
Oh, okay. So, fuck, dude. I'm trying to think of like what my favorite scents would even be. My head keeps going to like lemon, but I don't even know what lemon would like mix with. Like a lemon scented like.
I could see it. It would smell clean.
Yeah.
I usually associate lemon with like a clean smell, you know?
I keep thinking like, see, now I'm so hungry. I just keep thinking about lemon blueberry flavored shit, but I don't know if that's like what I want to smell like.
I
don't even
there
know.
are worse things.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, so can I throw you mine?
Yeah.
All right. So I want to get I want two kind of like combative scents, you know what I mean? Like I want something sweet, so I would choose like a vanilla, maybe like a brown sugar smell, like a warm brown sugar smell, but then I would also choose like burnt match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like after a match has been blown out, you know that smell? First of all, why isn't that a candle smell?
Yeah.
You know, why isn't Yankee Candle? What's up? This is $1 million idea. Make a candle that smells like a burnt out candle, you know, like, or a burnt out match. I love that smell, but I would want that sweet smell combined with that like slight phosphorus smell. I don't know what you even burnt wood and stuff. So it's like, I don't know. It's like nice and pleasant, but with like a hint of arson, you know, like, so it's something manly and something sweet combined together. I think that would be top new cologne.
What are the things that like hippies light?
Oh, the incense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of those, my roommate has some, not that he's a hippie, but he has some in there. Some of them smell pretty fucking good. But dude, sometimes I come home and I'm just like, what the fuck happened when I was gone?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lemon and patchouli. that's your smell? Yeah.
Oh, man.
I would like, you're like, how about cupcakes and dreadlocks?
Yeah.
Cupcakes and white people dreads. That's what I want my scent to smell like.
Yeah, lemon and BO.
Lemon and hairy women armpits.
Yeah.
No. I don't know. Another $1 million idea. And this is, I don't know what is wrong with me, but you brought up sobriety or whatever. My brain is so scattered. The way that other people act when they're drunk is me like sober. I can't stay on track with my brain is just like, and I've only noticed this the last 7 days. I've texted Jack Wright 3 times in the last 24 hours and then immediately been like, damn, sorry, wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, what is happening? And I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I'm losing control.
Yeah.
My brain is so scattered. This is why I was bad at school, because it's just like ding, 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 ding.
So that's the weed then, right? That's not alcohol.
I have
It's
no
gotta be the
idea.
weed.
I have no idea. I have no idea what's wrong with me. I'm a freak of nature.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It just sounds like ADD. I
Yeah,
guess.
ADD.
Which is like what people smoke weed for sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, except
You could just start doing Adderall, I guess.
yeah, I don't want. So when I was a kid, they put me on like Adderall. I did like Adderall, Concerta, a couple other ones they tried out, and it was just like they'd give it to me, and I'd just be like,
Yeah.
I would just be just depressed. I remember when I was in high school, my parents accused me of being on drugs, and they were like, "You're lethargic. You are sleeping a lot. You are just real low energy." And I'm like, "That's called depression."
Yeah.
You know, like, sorry, not the drugs, because I don't know. Not a lot of people know that I smoke. I guess they do now.
Yeah,
Dude, that's the thing about podcasts is sometimes you just have a conversation and then you're like, oh shit, we're recording this. Damn it.
Yeah,
All
Nathan
right.
was a great example of that.
He sent me a message when that last clip came out and we were talking about what animal would give the best massage or whatever. And you were like, I guess an octopus. And then it cut to him and he was like, yeah, octopus would be very good. Like that. And he sent me a message and he's like, lights were almost out in that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad he came. And he's what, Nathan, if you're listening, you're welcome back anytime, buddy. But man, he is, you gotta get him in quick. You know what I mean? Because there's a finite window where he's just gonna go past it. You know. Oh damn! What was I even saying? See,
No, yeah, you were talking about losing focus, and I think it's because you're not smoking weed. How long have you been smoking for?
Not that long. I didn't start until I think the first time I ever tried it, I was like 27.
Oh wow!
Something like that. Yeah, and kids, if you're listening, don't do it. Yeah, I forget sometimes they listen to this, but whatever. It's legal, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm so dude, that's the guilt in me. Like I just have this like I like my chest gets tight when somebody brings it up because I'm like you know, like I want to sit and have a fun conversation with you, but I also have to see my in-laws at Christmas next year. So it's like are you guys gonna be cool? Or?
Yeah. I'm sure they'll be fine.
No, yeah.
I always worry about that with my parents and my stepmom and stuff, but they're.
I worry about that. I'm the only 33-year-old I know that still actively cares about what his parents think so much, because that was just the way we were raised. Like this is bad, blah 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 blah, and now it's like, but it helps, you know, but I like it. Like, I don't know. So I don't smoke around my kids. My kids don't know it. Well, again, they probably do now, but they don't know I smoke. I try my best to hide it from them. But I'm worried. It's even one of my bits now is that my daughter's in high school and pretty soon she's going to come home and be like, that's what you smell like? And be like, whoops. But I don't know. My wife was the one who got me into she was the one who suggested it, because I got out of the military and I had pretty bad PTSD, and I've got I've got arthritis and a bad back and a whole bunch of stuff. And she was like, this might help. You might try it, because I know you're in pain, but you're also kind of a dick, you know? So like, you need to chill out. And that's been the hardest part of these last couple days, is just being irritable, you know, just like the little shit starting to bother me again. And I'm trying, I don't know, I'm trying to be better about it, but I've definitely caught myself like getting like,
Mm-hmm.
more and more. And I'm like, no, woosah,
Yeah.
woosah, I don't know.
Well, that first time you go back to it, you're gonna have like the time of your life.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I definitely, the new rule I've made for myself is I'm not allowed to do it unless I've exercised.
There you go.
If I exercise, then I can, you got to counterbalance the healthy with the unhealthy.
Mm.
And I'm trying to eat better. I'm trying to get better sleep. I'm trying a lot of things. I'm kind of sick of having Indian people comment on my videos and just say obese. Yeah. The first couple times I was like, it's funny. And then after the third time, it's like, all right, man. All right. It just keeps it. Yeah, I keep it.
That's so funny.
The number of times that somebody calls me fat, retarded, or a fag, I'm like, all right, okay. I can laugh it off a couple times, but after a while, I'm like, damn, maybe I should get my life together,
Well, you can only fix the fat part.
Yeah.
No, you should, dude. You should smoke. If you like running, you should smoke before you run. I used to do that to get into running when I was fat because I hate running. But I would just get so high that I wouldn't think about the fact that I'm running, and then after I just feel amazing.
I do hate running, and I swore off running a long time ago, but it's so counterintuitive, but the fastest people I've ever met is like in the military were like hardcore smokers, not weed, but cigarettes. Like I watched a guy smoke 2 menthol cigarettes and run 3 miles in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
He was a freak of nature. And it is just, I was like, how do you do it? And he's like, oh, I love it. The menthol makes my lungs feel all cool, and then I can just like glide, And the military is full of just freaks of nature who are either just too stupid to know their body hurts, or they're just, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but you'll find people that we used to get drunk before we'd run. That helped. When I used to drink a lot, and I would I'm not proud of it, but one of the best physical fitness tests I ever took, I was hammered from the night before, and people were running behind me, and they're like, I can smell it coming out of your pores. And I was like, I got a good score. What do you want? you know? They really started to crack down on that, though. Towards the end, they started to like breathalyze people because they knew people were showing up just plastered from the night before, And what are you going to do? What do you want? You want an effective military, or you want us to be sober? Pick one.
In high school, I played tennis in high school, and I actually wasn't bad because my next door neighbor's dad was really good, and he taught us when we were younger. But on the last tournament of my senior year, I got fucking shit-faced before. And because, I'm like a dumb kid in high school. I'm like, whatever. And I was actually winning my match. The kid wasn't very good, but we had a little intermission. And it was like a tournament. And I saw who I had to play if I won. And it was my buddy, Adam Casanova, who's like amazing at tennis. So I threw the match.
That's such a tennis name, though.
Yeah, it
Casanova.
is. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he makes music now. But that was like I threw the match. Like I legitimately was like, all right, I don't want to do this anymore because you're like running and sweating it out. And like me and my buddy were drinking a bunch of vodka before the match, but it was like it wasn't gonna last. Eventually, you're just gonna crash. And
Oh, I can't imagine that would be terrible because you're on the tennis court. It's gonna be super hot, right? Because people don't realize that tennis courts, they're just concrete, and that just absorbs the heat.
Yeah,
and you're just out there, and it's like 20 degrees hotter than what it actually is outside. And so I can't imagine you just slowly getting more and more sober.
Yeah. No,
as the match goes on, you're just sweating it out and stuff. Oh, that sounds miserable.
It was not good.
We used to put like tequila and Sprite in our like Camelbacks while we were hiking. And so you would just sit there and sip as you go. And it was like, oh, this is fun until you ran out.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh man, this really sucks.
Yeah.
You're just like slowly getting more and more sober. I had there was one time where we got in trouble. We got caught. they tried to make this stupid rule that like, so we were on deployment and then we were on our way back and we stopped at this port city and they were like, okay, they made this rule like you can have one beer every hour for 3 hours tops. So 3 beers tops over 3 hours and that's it. And after 3, you have to stop. Well, of course we were like, okay, and we just started pounding. And we came back to check in and we were all just plastered, me and like 5 other guys. I mean, everybody else was too, but we got caught because we were the drunkest. And so this guy made us, every hour, each one of us had to do 15 minutes of watch. And so you would sleep for like 30 minutes, then you'd have to get up and get dressed, then you'd stand watch for 15 minutes, then get undressed, get in, sleep for another 30 minutes, get up. And it doesn't sound that bad, but over the course of like 12 hours, it starts to like play with your mind because you can't get to sleep long enough for you to get like any good rest before you have to get up again. And then you have to stand there and you're just slowly getting, each and every time you just get a little bit more sober and a little bit more hungover and you're just like doing just the most meaningless task ever. Like just like washing a sink or like scrubbing like polishing a doorknob or whatever. And you're just like, oh, this is the worst. So yeah, I'm definitely, I think I made up my mind the other day. Like I think I'm done drinking for good. Because I just don't care anymore. It doesn't excite me. You just feel so bad the next day. And I'm in my mid-30s. I don't need to drink anymore. I'm good,
I think I'm going to pick and choose. I'm going to go for a whole year, I think.
And you're what, 4 months in?
Almost.
That's pretty impressive.
Drinking's never been my vice for that. Thank you, though. But, my friends always, like, if they don't see me for a while, they're like, oh, are you drinking again or what? Because they know, like, I just take breaks.
Yeah.
But I just think every once in a while it'll be fine. I'm just a binge drinker, though, dude. I drink till I black out.
Yeah.
And then I always just, like, I don't know.
I don't know what it is about me. I don't know if it's my size or what, but people have always commented on the fact that it's like, dude, how are you still, like, at my wedding, I drank, so I had 3 groomsmen. I drank 2 of them under the table. One of them blacked out before the reception even started, and the other one, ended up throwing up, like, all over the dance floor, and another one was, like, barely hanging on, and my sister came up to me, and she was like, how are you still going? And I was like, I don't know. I just am, and it just doesn't bother me. Like, it just doesn't affect me that much. And so I just keep going. Like, I don't know. Have you ever watched the Protect Our Parks with like Joe Rogan and Shane Gillis? And everybody's talking about like, oh, Shane can drink like 15 beers. I can't count the number of times I've done that. Like, just without trying. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, I can drink so much. But I can. And then I realized, like, well, it's not fun. It's not fun for me, because people are either annoyed at how much I can drink or they want me to keep going. And then the next day I just feel bad, And it's like, what's the point of this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
These hangovers they turn into like 2-day hangovers. I'm like, so I could put down quite a bit, but I get drunk pretty quick. Like, I'll definitely feel pretty good after like 6 beers, but I still will drink. Like, I'm like one of my only, I probably shouldn't say it, whatever. I'm one of the only ones in my friend group who like doesn't really do like blow or anything. Yeah. But I don't sleep. So I'll still drink all night with all of them and then go to bed when they do. And it's just like, it's not great. Because I will just keep going until like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's usually my thing. I keep going till we're out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've never done any pills. I've never done any powders. I have no desire to do meth or ecstasy or anything. Like, I don't know. I guess I just I'm realizing now as I get older that I was like, I think I have an addictive personality because I get hyper focused on something and then like I'll just, like that's why I stopped playing video games.
Yeah.
Because it's like everything else in my life would fall to the wayside because I'm like, oh, I got to get home. I got to figure out how to do this and I got to do this and I got to beat this level and I got to do that. And I was like, all right, this is taking up a lot of my life.
Yeah.
I need to put this to the side, And so that's why comedy took over. I'm like, I need to find something that I can fixate on that might earn me some money as well.
That's
and
fair.
That's where we are. I feel like this podcast has just turned into two 30-year-olds.
Like, yeah.
It's just us coming to the realization, like, I guess it's time to grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get into some best questions or whatever.
Yeah.
I asked this the other day. Who do you think the best movie spy is? Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible, Jason Bourne, or James Bond?
I'd probably have to go with Ethan Hunt.
Really?
But I do like the Bourne movies. I really do.
Yeah, okay. So Ethan Hunt, I mean, the only reason I can't go with Ethan Hunt is because he has a team. He always has a team.
Fair.
And yes, he is doing like the majority of the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
But he does have support. James Bond also has support because he's always got some gadget, a watch that shoots out shark repellent or something like that. So I like Jason Bourne because it's just him.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of like the Batman of spies.
Yeah,
you
that's
know what I
fair.
mean? Although Batman does have gadgets too, so and he kind of has a team, but whatever. All right, all right, never mind. I retract that. No, I do like Jason Bourne. I do think that he has the best cool moments, like those moments where he's like on the phone with someone, and he's like, "You should get some sleep. You look tired." And then hangs up, and they're like, "He's watching us," like that. Like, oh man, that's a cool move,
Definitely. I feel like those movies are like some of the only movies where Matt Damon doesn't look like a pussy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess that in like The Departed.
No.
Well, he's a rat, but
in The Departed, he has erectile dysfunction.
Okay,
He's like crying in that elevator when Leo like captures him, and he's like, "Just kill me, man! Just kill me, man!" Like that, like that. You're right. He is. He does play kind of a wuss in most.
Dude.
I mean, he was cool in Good Will Hunting, I guess, but he was also kind of like, even his friends were like, "Dude, you're being an idiot."
Yeah.
Like when Ben Affleck is like, "You're stupid, man." Like that's a big red flag.
Yeah.
Because Ben Affleck's not known for being the smartest man alive, and if he's the one telling you like, "Hey, dude, you're screwing up," like.
yeah.
You're screwing up. I don't know. But he ended up with J-Lo, so who am I to talk, He got something figured out.
They're still making Mission Impossibles, aren't they?
Yeah, with Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
He's 65 years old, and I hope they keep going. You
Yeah.
know? I hope they keep, like, Mission Impossible, he's got to get a reservation to eat at, like, 3:30,
Yeah,
I don't know. He's trying to get the chicken fingers from Applebee's,
Right.
before they run out. Like, I hope they just... into his 30 or into like 35 years from now, he's 100 and he's just still making movies, like trying to get a matinee ticket, like at the movie theater.
I'm sure the Church of Scientology won't let him die. So
No, they'll just keep, they'll do what they're doing to Biden. They just keep injecting him with just keep. Which one's the best Fast and the Furious movie?
Okay.
They're all terrible.
Dude.
Well, okay, they're not. That's not true. They're not all terrible. The first one is still really. I went back and watched the first one. It's believable. It's like realistic. It seems cool, But then after that, man, they really.
Oh, they go nuts.
Yeah, they really take a turn.
So, nice.
Yeah, I didn't even see that.
So, best. I mean, the first two are the only ones that are really like racing movies. Right?
Yeah. Tokyo Drift
That's my favorite.
is better than people give it credit. A lot of people hated it because it didn't have. They're like, oh, none of the cast is in this. Blah blah blah. But that's one of my favorites.
Well, dude, that's Nathan Foltz getting in trouble and going to Tokyo and driving, dude. That's why it's so awesome. That's why it's so fucking funny. The fact that it's like Bow Wow and a hillbilly randomly go to Japan for school, and then he just dude, it's so funny.
Talk about. I mean, you talked about Matt Damon being kind of a pussy in his movies, dude. Bow Wow looked terrible. Like he got beat up like 3 times. He had that stupid car that was like the Hulk. You know what I mean? It was like green and purple. It was like a Scion minivan or whatever, and he's like, "Yeah," like that when it comes down that car elevator. He's like, "Yeah," and everybody's like, "The fuck." Dude, your car sucks. He's like, do you want some sneakers? Like, like that was his whole role in that movie.
That's like they do like a big callback with that movie too, though. Because have you watched like all of them?
No, I stopped watching after the one with the airplane. I don't know. There was one where like the big final scene was they were chasing a giant airplane down a runway, and the runway was like 47 miles long.
That's when the hot girl dies.
Falls
out.
Wonder
or
Woman.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know that when I don't know why I pointed that when the second when Tokyo Drift came out, that like takes place like way later, and then they like call back to it. But I forgot. I remember watching 5 all the time because that was a free HBO movie when I lived with my dad.
Fast 5.
It's like where they go to Brazil and it's just a heist movie.
Oh, the one with they have the
big safe.
The safe, and they're pulling it behind the cars.
Yeah, just destroying Brazil.
Yeah, and it's that. Yeah, that was. I liked that one. That one was cool.
Yeah,
it's just I did like that one. Yeah,
they're all just action, dude.
They're all
crazy.
Oh,
yeah.
I did like the one where have you ever seen the like how it should have ended, and they break down like how impossible all of them are. Like there was one where they jump from like one skyscraper to another skyscraper in a car, and it's like in real life it would have gone out and just like that, dude. And there's another one where they tried to like parachute in cars down a mountain, and Tyrese ends up like in the ocean. Yeah, and he's just like, no, not like this, like that as he sings. Like, dude, some of those are hilarious.
Oh yeah,
because they're so ridiculous. And there was that one where it's like Vin Diesel's on the hood of a car, and then he has someone slam the brakes so it throws him.
Yeah,
and he catches someone in the air, and they're like, this is how it really would have gone. And it like they throw him, and he just splatters like all over the back of another car, and it's not. That doesn't sound funny, but it is funny. Like,
no, dude, bad movies are awesome.
I love bad movies.
Yeah, I do too. I don't care what anyone says. Terrible movies are so good. They're so fun to watch.
Hot take, John Wick, terrible movie. Great action.
Oh, it's awesome.
I watched it the other day with my wife because she doesn't really like girl movies. She doesn't like romantic comedies. She hates musicals. She loves like revenge movies. She loves stuff like that. I'm like, well, if you like revenge movies, let's watch John Wick. And she almost turned it off after the spoiler alert, after the dog dies. You know, she was like, I don't want to watch this. And I was like, he gets him back.
Yeah,
it's all right. But there's the whole opening action scene is he kills all those guys in his house, and then the cop shows up, and then he's just like, hey, John. He's like, hey, Jimmy. And it's like, noise complaint? Yeah, noise complaint. And then the cop sees a dead body in the hall, and he goes, so you working again? He's like, nah, just sorting some things out. And the cop's like, all right, well, have a good night, and just leaves.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? In no world would a cop just be like, there's a couple dead bodies back there.
Yeah.
Just try to keep it down, okay? And then leave. Like, what? Like, I don't know.
Did you watch the 4th one, the newest one?
I think so. I think I watched it on a Is that
on a plane? Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the one where he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Did he literally?
Spoiler alert.
that movie, he literally. If you haven't seen it by yet, like, it's whatever.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it yet, but he literally kills more people than words he says in that movie. It's fucking crazy. The only thing he says that whole movie is just, yeah,
Yeah.
He just goes and kills everybody.
That's the perfect role for him, though.
Mhm.
I like Keanu Reeves.
Oh,
I
yeah.
do. A lot of people. I remember when I was a kid, everybody thought he was kind of an idiot.
Mhm.
They were like he was kind of like a punching bag. Like everybody's like, "Oh, Keanu Reeves is such a bad actor."
Mhm.
He's a really good actor, but he does kind of have that like surfer boy voice
Yeah.
where he's like, yeah, like Point Break was his best role. Like it was made for him. It's like, hey, we need someone who could shoot a gun but also kind of be like a hippie stoner surfer boy.
Yeah.
And I volunteer. He was in a Shakespeare movie one time. I forgot what it is. I think it's like Midsummer's Night Dream, or maybe it was something. But he was so out of place because he still had that like accent.
Mhm.
But he was like, "Where doth thou get your," like that. And you're like, "All right, man, this isn't your like this isn't for you."
uh-huh.
I don't know. Again, that was my brain just ting ting ting
Yeah.
ting 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 ting. It's like a pinball machine.
You think coffee helps with that at all?
No.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But that's just.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. 2 cups of coffee at 1:15 in the morning. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, yeah. Have you been dreaming?
Yes, like crazy.
Yeah.
Like crazy. I had a dream the other night that me and 2 of my buddies from the Marines had to walk to Mexico to get macaroni and cheese.
Nice.
Yeah, why? I don't know, but that's what we did.
Uh-huh.
That's what we got stopped at the border, and they wouldn't let us bring our mac and cheese back, and we had to try to like figure out. We ended up like going into like one of the tunnels, whereas like everybody else is smuggling in like cocaine and fentanyl, and we were bringing back mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Like why? I don't know. I like mac and cheese, and
That's what happens when you quit though, and they feel real. Like those dreams are just nuts. I like every
Yeah.
time because I usually take breaks from smoking. This has been the longest. It's been a
Mhm.
couple of years, but I usually I'll smoke a lot and then I'll stop. And every time I start smoking again, I have crazy dreams, and then they go away. And then when I stop, I have really crazy dreams.
Yeah.
Also, when I quit cigarettes, my method was kind of dumb, but I had a stress ball, and I would play with zip ties, just do something with my hands, and then I did the patches for a little bit. Although the second I took the patches off, I wanted a cigarette like immediately.
Yeah.
But if you fall asleep with them on, you get like really crazy vivid dreams. Like I actually had a dream that I transferred to SEMO with my buddy who was there, and I had a dream we were taking a biology class in the forest behind SEMO, which there's no forest behind SEMO. But in the dream, I was like, there's definitely a forest behind SEMO. And he got mauled by a snake in front of me. And
By a snake?
by a big-ass snake, like an anaconda. And then he died in my dream. And I woke up, like, crying. Because I was like, oh, my God, AJ's dead. I need to call his mom. And I was, like, going through my phone to call his mom, whose number I don't have. And then I'm, like, on my dad's couch in my living room. And I'm like, what the fuck was that about?
There have been times where
yeah.
I've woken up recently and I'm like, where am I?
Yeah.
Where's Trevor? You
Yeah.
know, like he was just here. And then I'm like, wait, no, that must have been a dream. Like it is crazy.
Mm.
When I was in the military, they gave us malaria pills, and I think it was doxycycline
Yeah.
or something like that. But there were guys that would have dreams, and they would be like picking at their face, like they'd be like trying to like take their skin. They'd be having dreams that there were like bugs on them, and so they'd wake up and they're like clawing at their face because it was so vivid.
Yeah.
And then they'd wake up with like scratches and stuff, and
That's
so they had to
horrifying.
sleep with like socks on their hands.
Mm-hmm.
It was wild.
Wait, where were you where you had to take the malaria pills?
Well, it was on my first deployment, and we had to go. We pretty much we were on an aircraft carrier, and then it was the Marines' job to. They would like the ship would like pull up off the coast of somewhere, and then we'd get in a helicopter and fly in. And so we were in Malaysia, Thailand, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, Djibouti, Africa.
Damn.
Yeah, there was some other places we went to. Now, the longer time passes, the less I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
But we basically like we left from California, stopped in Hawaii, and then we kind of like country hopped all the way around and then made our way back
Yeah.
the way we came. Kind of like retraced our steps a little bit. And that was I don't know, it wasn't bad. It wasn't too bad, but it was kind of fun.
I had to do. I had to take a malaria. This is just where my brain went from that.
Yeah.
I had to take a malaria pill one time because this is gonna sound so stupid. When I was a junior in high school, my mom was like on this stupid ass quest for God, and she wanted me to go with her to do this service trip, and she made me go with her. It was in fucking Haiti, like right after the earthquake.
Oh, fun.
So I was so mad at her. But she made me go, and I had to take a malaria pill for that, and I couldn't take pills till like even in high school when I would like experiment or whatever, like I would just eat them. I would eat them in like a banana, and they all taste terrible. And that pill was huge. And I had to do that to go there, which was one of the. Everyone's always like, whenever I tell them about going to Haiti, they're like, "Oh, you did a service trip. Was it like rewarding?" And it's like, no, not. I hated it. I hated every second of it.
Yeah.
It was really eye opening, but it was not like. Well, we like the first week there, we like. My mom worked at SLU Cancer Center, so we were doing like medical shit, and I was just helping. And so, like, I was helping people, like, draw blood, which I probably shouldn't have been doing. But now I know how. But but we were, like, draw blood, and we, like, put in this little machine, and it would spin really fast, and then it would, like, separate. So then you could see who has, like, malaria or AIDS or something like that. And, again, dude, at 17, I was like, this is so fucking dumb. I don't want to be here at all.
That's crazy that they had you doing that. Like,
well, yeah, just helping. I mean, they were actual nurses, but I was helping them doing that. And then the second week, we took this like broken down hotel and like turned it into a school. Like a whole thing was like building shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I was so mad because my mom was a pale little ginger, and Haiti is not good for like pale people anyway. But she like after the first week she was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go home, but." The guy here that we're with, he's a good friend of mine, and I told him you're going to stay. And I was like, no, I'm not going to stay in Haiti.
No.
And that's not happening. And she was like, well, no, like, I already got my flight and stuff, and I'm, like, about to go. Your dad's coming out, but, like, he'll be here soon. And I'm like, Mom, this is, like, another country. It's going to take him quite a while to get here.
Mom, this is Haiti.
Yeah. Dude, It was so fucked. And she was like, well, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. And literally left. And I was like, that's the relationship me and my mom had. She was like, you fucking bitch. I can't believe you just left me here. Like, I can't believe this. But so, like, for one day, I was waiting for my dad to come to Haiti. And it was just me and a bunch of, like, churchies. Because it's like a religious retreat that my mom was trying to get into. And it was absolutely miserable. Because I'm not going to say I hated all of them, but I did not relate to any of them at all. And I'm just like in another country without like phone service. I can't even talk to anybody. You know what
That's
I mean?
the worst. It's the worst. I can't I get along. It's pretty easy for me to get along with most people, but occasionally I'll run into someone and I'm just like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. There's nothing. You and I are just too different, you know. And when you feel like you're alone like that, especially in Haiti, like,
yeah, dude,
I'd just be like, I'd be so miserable,
dude. I came home, and just because I was 17, just so fucking stupid. I came home, and like just pissed at my mom, and I was like, hey. I don't have a curfew anymore, and I'm piercing my ears. Like, that was, like, my big win for that. And she was like, that's fair, but it was just like, no, it really wasn't, dude. I should have gotten way more out of this now that I'm older. It's like, I can't believe that happened.
What? I mean, no disrespect to any Haitians who might be listening, but even before the earthquake, like, Haiti's kind of a dangerous place, you know?
Dude,
like,
it's good.
not, you know what I mean? Like, and even post-earthquake, it's still pretty dangerous place, you know? Like,
but we would, like, walk down the street,
nervous.
and everyone's like, Blanca, Blanca, like, yelling white at us and stuff, which is fine. I never really felt, like, in danger. I will say, they are definitely some of the best drivers I've ever seen because there are no rules to the road there.
Yeah.
So it goes everywhere, but I didn't see one car accident in 2 weeks or no like damaged cars or anything. They're just going all over.
That's kind of how it is in like Thailand and like India and stuff like that. You just see like a whole family on a moped, and there's no like some cars are driving this way on both sides of the road, and there's other cars doing this, and the like mopeds are zipping in and out, and it's like I'm surprised there's not a million accidents a day.
Yeah,
and it's like they just kind of figure it out. And I was like, oh, that's pretty impressive because we live in St. Louis and we have very clear painted lines on the road, and people still screw it up. So
no, we drive so bad here.
Oh, it's
it's crazy.
It's the worst. My daughter just got her permit, and so I've been teaching her how to drive. And she asked like the other day, like, "Hey, can I like come to St. Louis and drive around up there?" And I was like, "No,
Yeah.
no, no." When it snowed a couple weeks ago, and it was like you see somebody with an out of state plate, you'd just be like, "Stay home."
Yeah.
Just you're not. You can't handle it here, okay? If you're not a confident driver, don't come to St. Louis.
Yeah.
All right? We've got enough. I have a theory, though. Like, I love it here. A lot of people talk shit on St. Louis, like, oh, it's boring, it sucks, the murder rate, all that. I think we have a high murder rate just to keep away, like, all the nerds, Like, we don't want the tech geniuses coming. We don't want the big all these like big industries. Like Dallas has like all the tech companies just moved to Dallas, and it's like it's grown a whole bunch, but it's also like the cost of living has gone up and everything. I think St. Louis keeps a high murder rate because we know we're a pretty cool city, but we want to keep out anybody who can't hack it. You know what I mean? Like I think maybe this is a hot take, but maybe we just sacrifice a couple people every year just to keep out the dweebs. Like it's.
No, shout out murderers for keeping St. Louis cool.
Yeah.
Keep killing, please.
Yeah. Let's go. Spray and pray. Spray and pray. Yeah, we don't need you, okay? We're like, it's like Kamala Harris. Don't come.
Yeah.
Don't come. That's two political references in one podcast. I normally don't talk politics at all.
Boom.
I hate it.
That's fair.
What's the best way to blow money? Are you strict with money, or are you?
I'm so bad with money, dude.
Yeah.
I am so bad with money. My whole thing, it's why I travel like so much, but I basically save up enough money to do a trip, and then like my work's really cool with like, especially the whole comedy thing. Like my boss, I went to grade school with him, so if I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go to Chicago from like Thursday till like maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, or possibly Thursday, depending if I can swing it. They're like, all right, that's cool, because we just have enough people that can cover it anyway. But I basically go, and then I'll have like $30 left total to like get home for gas, and then I come home and then I work. That's basically how it goes. But I guess like pleasure-wise, I go out to eat like crazy.
Yeah,
that's my thing.
Food is my big. That's my number one. I mean, I know Till Pierce is probably listening to this. I'm gonna say it again. Gramophone.
Yeah.
They've taken so much of my. Not taken. I've freely given it. Best sandwiches in St. Louis. Teal always he'll come to me afterward. Like sometimes when I run into him, he's like, for the last 7 podcasts in a row, you've mentioned Gramophone. I'm like,
nice.
I know. I get it. I wore their shirt the last time I did a podcast because I love it so much. If you guys want to sponsor me, I'd be open to it. You don't even have to sponsor me. Just throw me a sandwich. I'll keep mentioning your restaurant.
They're gonna be like, "Did we listen to what you said?" No way.
Yeah. They're gonna listen to one podcast and be like, "No, we don't want to be associated with this." Yeah. I have talked to a couple people before. I tried to get a sponsor one time from a local brewery. Like I had people in and we drank some local beers and I was shouting it out. And then we ended up getting hammered. And I was like, hey, I mentioned your product in my podcast. If you guys want to take a listen and maybe we can work out like a sponsorship deal. And I got 2 days later, I got a message back from them. They're like, we listened to the podcast. I don't think that this is what we want to be associated with. And I was like, yeah, that's fair.
That's
fair.
fair. Yeah.
That makes sense.
We definitely can find a good sponsor for you.
Yeah. I'm not worried about. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually. But, well, we did an hour 15.
Oh yeah.
Are you good?
Yeah,
with
I'm
that?
good. I'm good. If you're good, man.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to rush you out. I wanted to make sure you got your own solo episode.
Yeah.
Just because, like, man, like the last one was super fun, but all of a sudden, like Nate joined us and Rick joined us, and I love having them around. But after a while, it just became like a, wait, you killed pigs? For
Yeah,
him?
yeah,
like,
dude.
we took a hard right turn.
See, I love that. I feel bad, dude, because I'm like so tired. And I feel like I wasn't as fun. But
No,
that,
I get
last
it.
time, dude, I
It's-
couldn't help it, dude. Like everything he said, I was like, please tell me more. Like I need to
Wait,
know everything.
I need to know
about you.
exactly what you meant by that.
Yeah.
Plug your social media one more time.
Oh yeah, at Tophology on Instagram, Chris Oliver on Facebook. Add and follow, please.
Mm-hmm. And you've got Stan's open mic Tuesday nights.
Stan's open mic Tuesday night, Chaos Comedy. Sign up at 9, show at 9:30.
And then Waterloo on the
February 24th, I will be at Anti Bar in Waterloo. So come on out. That should be a pretty fun show. It's me, Aaron Porter, Andrew Gaffigan.
Oh, that's gonna be a fun show.
Yeah.
That's a really fun show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, have you been there yet?
Not yet, no.
Oh man, so it's a super low ceiling.
Yeah.
Like you have to like crouch to get.
Mhm.
It's so hard to explain, but it's so much fun. You're gonna love it.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. I think it should be a pretty good time. I like what he's trying to do with that show, too.
Yeah,
He's just-
shout out Ryan Ballard and
Yeah.
Anti Bar.
Yeah, he's just trying to get something different going. So that's
And
pretty
he's
cool.
doing it, man. He's
Mhm.
crushing it. It's one of my favorite shows I've done recently.
Yeah.
That and I think the roast battle are like
Mm-hmm.
neck and neck for most fun thing. And there's a shout out Gateway City Roast League. There's another show at Platypus on February 28th, I think. So,
Mm-hmm.
which if you're in the St. Louis area, go check that one out. All right. Well,
Cool.
appreciate it, man.
Yes. For
And
sure, for sure.
Thanks for listening, everybody. See ya.